Welcome back to the Habit-Based Lifestyle Podcast. I am your host, Jesse Ewell, and today we're going to be talking about the habit of entitlement. Do you have a habit of being entitled? What does this even mean? See, I have a few different views on this today, and I want to discuss this and I want to share this with you because these are not in the Webster Dictionary, but they're just simply ways that I have experienced not only in my life, but clients, friends, family members, and other people. But entitled simply means wanting something for free, owed something for not actually doing the work. This is a common problem today in the workforce. So many people want to make they talk about making more money, making 6, 7, 8 figures without actually having to do the work to do this. Now, for a long time, as a personal trainer inside the personal trainer industry, this was a common problem is young trainers would come in expecting to make, hey, I want to be making 6 figures. I want to be making $100,000 a year. And yet, they'd only been in the industry maybe a year or two, or they'd just gotten out of college and they expected to make this. But before you make money, before you do any of that, there's one fundamental thing that has to happen. And you have to begin to obviously get experience, get some reps in. Very little reps. People expect to make money with very little reps and very little work into what they're doing. And the effect of this is they actually think like shit comes pretty easy. They actually think that getting clients comes pretty easy. And I can remember several times where I had trainers working for me getting handed clients on silver platters. They had to do nothing to get these clients. And they would soon become entitled because that was what they thought was normal. They thought the actual hard work was training the client. And what I want you to understand is this. Oftentimes, whether it's in training or coaching, the hardest part is to get the client. Once you have the client, as long as you can get the client to do specific things to get them results, then they will change. But the hardest part is always getting clients. And this is the number one area trainers and coaches will struggle, even business owners, any type of business. The hardest part of any business is to actually get a client. It's not to fulfill clients, it's to get clients. If you can't fulfill clients, then you're in trouble because if you can get them, but you can't fulfill on it, you have a major problem in your business, and it's called fulfillment. But today, we are talking about entitlement, and I want to come back to this lesson because I can remember so many times giving trainers. I can remember so many times showing them how to actually get clients, giving them an entire paycheck on a silver platter. They had to do nothing other than just service the client. And then once they got to a certain place, they would get this attitude that they expected to make more money. They expected to get paid more, yet they were only servicing a client. And I would have to remind them where their clients came from. I would have to remind them that they did nothing to get any of these clients in. And even the clients that may come in and ask for them were still from the clients that were given to them. And I can remember times where I'd lost 7, 8 trainers taking their clients with them. And this was over a 13-year period throughout my years in the gym. And I would see clients expecting to see transformation just because they signed up for training. They wanted to see weight loss without actually having to follow a nutrition plan. They wanted to see results without actually doing the work in the gym. They wanted to see results, yet every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, They were completely derailing everything that they had done Monday through Thursday. You see, in the gym, you will not see results by just signing up. In the gym, you will not see results by just having a nutrition plan in front of you. In the gym, you will not see results if you go and you get hammered Friday, Saturday, and Sunday and completely fall off the rails. This is what entitlement is. And there is clients that are entitled to results that they, just because they've paid, they think that they're entitled to. See, I would hear people complain about their diet, about their fitness not working. And the reality of it is we already know all nutrition works, all workouts work. What doesn't work is the client following it. And yes, there are circumstances where there may be 1 out of 1,000 where a specific diet or fitness doesn't work. But in 20 years of fitness, any diet works. In 20 years of fitness, movement and working out works. What doesn't work is being entitled. I would see people in coaching programs that I was a part of, coaching programs that I was the coach, expecting results because they decided, hey, I paid $25,000. I paid $50,000. And I don't have to actually do the daily work. The hardest part of any of this is to actually be committed to doing consistent work, the boring stuff. But I would see people entitled to results thinking that they're actually owed results just because they paid for coaching. And yet they weren't willing to show up every single day and do these consistent habits. You see, when people aren't willing to do the simple shit daily, they get very entitled very quickly. And they expect some other result. And I want to bring this around because it's not just happening in coaching. It's not just happening in personal training. It's literally happening in every single business. And I'll give you a couple different scenarios. I've also seen business owners expecting employees to do shit for free, which to me is even worse. You expect someone to work for free, whether they get paid well or not, but you don't actually value their time enough to pay for them. And I know several business owners that have done this. They may pay their clients, they may pay people very well in other areas for other jobs, but the specific job that's not on their list of what to do or an actual job that's in their scope of work, they're still doing this job and they're not getting paid shit for it, and the owner acts like they don't realize this. I've also seen business owners try and save their clients, try and do the work for them to get the results for them. This happens so often. I see and hear people do extra work for their clients to save them. Save them. Like literally, I have a friend that he actually does advertising. And he was calling his clients leads. He's not even in the same industry. He's literally calling his clients leads because the client is saying, oh, these leads are crap. And he's literally calling them and actually trying to schedule appointments for this client, instead of the client actually doing it himself. And this guy was fulfilling on his side, but the client was being entitled, was expecting some type of result without actually doing the work. You wouldn't believe how often this happens. You wouldn't believe how often people think they're entitled to results when they're not willing to actually do simple shit. But here's the thing is, if it was a boss, most employees are afraid to lose their jobs, so they end up saying nothing. And this happens frequently. Like this doesn't, sometimes owners may be intimidating, whatever. But this entitlement, it's like a disease. And if you don't call people out on it, it's very hard to stop. Whether it spreads through an entire company of employees or an owner's expectation is you do shit for free, and it spreads the backside way. But if you are helping people in any type of position of fitness, any type of position of service, and you are doing the work for the client, this client will become entitled. They will not get the results. You can't follow a diet for someone. You can't work out for someone. Otherwise, they become your results. You can't call on leads for someone else. They have to do that themselves. That's how they learn. But I believe this. People that are entitled have figured out a way to get what they want without actually having to do the work. Like, I think this is an epidemic in our country, not only in business, but in life. People have figured out how to get what they want without actually having to do the work. And then you know what's crazy on top of it is they complain. Entitled people complain. They blame. They become victims. And I also believe that if there are business owners, these are people that very rarely ever get called out for it. But if you want to stop entitlement, like, you're going to have to start with accountability and responsibility, because those two things are going to be the biggest shifts that you have inside of this. Now, if you want results, you're not entitled to anything. If you want something, if you want to make more money, if you want a result in or out of the gym, if you want to change something, you're going to have to be willing to work for them. If you want to make money, you are literally only entitled to what you earn and what you work for. And if someone is expecting you to work for free, go find someone else to work for. Go open up your own business. They may not see the value in you. I had to do this several times in my life, to where this company or this place I worked no longer served me and no longer got what I wanted. And I had a choice. Either I could continue to be there, or I could go open up my own business and see what I could do with it. Now, there was a whole lot more risk by opening up my own business, but there's a whole lot more reward on the other side of that, as long as you're willing to do one thing, and that is to actually work for it. If you're in the gym and you have clients, if you're in the coaching world and you have clients, do not hang on to clients that are expecting results without actually doing the work. I'm going to tell you that right now. Do not hang on to clients that are not willing to actually do the work you ask them to do, because they will become entitled. And if you try to do it for them, you're just feeding into that. And so there's an important question I want you to ask yourself today. Where in your life are you expecting to get results without actually doing the work? And there's a second part to this. Where in your life is someone else expecting you to do the work for them without actually paying you for that? And how can you start today to eliminate these situations and relationships? These are some of the most toxic relationships that you can have in your life, and some of the ones that weigh you down the most. And these are some of the most important to either change or get out of or get rid of. Guys, I appreciate you being on here today. Let me know what this entitled actually means to you. Who's someone in your life who is entitled? Who's someone you may need to eliminate, or just have a conversation with and be like, listen, you're not valuing me. You're not valuing my time, my energy, or what I'm putting into this, and our relationship is done. Because that's what it takes to get out of this situation. If you guys are looking to connect further with a group of like-minded people, join myself and so many others in the Habit-Based Lifestyle Secrets group on Facebook, where I will be dropping daily habits to help you live to your full potential. If you want to be one of our next case studies, begin living this habit-based lifestyle. If you have questions, comments, requests, concerns, if you feel like this message resonates with you, please leave me a review or email me, jesse@habitbasedlifestyle.com. Also, coming up, we have a marriage boot camp in September 22nd and 23rd. This is a major event where me and my wife do 2 days of experiential training with you and your spouse. And I cannot tell you how impactful this has been on the couples that we've had come in so far, and the changes that we're already seeing in marriages, the pain being eradicated and eliminated in a marriage. But this is the 2-day event where you begin to take your marriage to the next level. Until next episode, have a great day.